Alex Polizzi is an award-winning hotelier with over 20 years' experience of working in the world's most luxurious hotels. Born into the legendary Forte hotel dynasty, she's on a crusade to transform Britain's most desperate hotels and B&Bs. From outrageous owners to dodgy decor.
But you have to make a man feel like he's not waking up in Barbara Cartland's underwear.
Nothing escapes the hotel inspector's beady eye.
Who's responsible for that?
Sally.
Bullshit. Whose fault is it?
Mine.
Thank you.
Or her quest for perfection.
I honestly feel as if I'm being persecuted by pubes.
This week on The Hotel Inspector, the War of the Roses.
Everywhere I look, every corner I turn, every set of doors I open, there's a mess somewhere.
No, I don't think that's terribly fair, no.
The more I see, the more disgusted I am, the more angry I'm getting with him.
Oh, I was definitely put on the naughty stool, yes. It was definitely the ladies against me.
I know. It feels like rigor mortis has already set in, and I'm not entirely sure if we can reanimate the corpse.
The Rose and Crown, a hotel in the historic market town of Wisbech in Cambridgeshire.
Hello, Rose and Crown.
With 30 bedrooms and 5 function rooms, the hotel blossomed for 6 centuries in the town centre. But now the Rose and Crown is withering. With no experience in the industry, Jonathan Davies and Jacqueline Newt bought the big hotel with big ideas.
I felt it had a lot of potential. I felt the town had a lot of potential. And, I thought within 2 years we'd probably look at buying another hotel.
58-year-old Jonathan packed in antique stealing, and Jackie a career in nursing to become hoteliers 4 years ago. But it's been tough going.
The hotel was making a loss when we bought it. And since then, it's struggled into profit and then into loss. It's a very challenging job to run a fairly large business and employ people.
It's not just the size of the business that Jonathan finds challenging.
I'm not a people person. I keep being told I'm not a people person. I try to be a little bit set aside, a little bit standoffish, separate, detached, moody, whereas Jacqueline is friendly, approachable. I'm the ideas man, really. A bit of a problem there is that everybody thinks you're wrong, that they've got better ideas than you've got. But I still think that on balance, my ideas are the best.
The Rose and Crown has become a thorn in the couple's side.
I think we both want it to grow as a business. We'd both like it to succeed. At the moment we find that quite hard to know how it's going to.
If we were not to succeed, this would be a tremendous blow, yeah, absolutely. We would lose certainly well over $500,000 and maybe nearer $750,000.
They need award-winning hotelier Alex Polizzi to turn this failing hotel around.
If I turned up here knowing that I was about to stay, my heart would really sink. Crumbling paintwork, dirty windows, looks very unappealing.
Welcome to the Rose and Crown.
Thank you very much for inviting me here.
Pleasantries exchanged, it's straight down to business.
So, Jackie, Jonathan, can you tell me, how did you come to buy the Rose and Crown?
It was my decision to buy the hotel, and basically I wanted to do something different. So I sold some bits and pieces of property that I had, and we bought this hotel.
It was just a new venture, really, and I was just, believed that Jonathan knew what he was doing, and we decided to go ahead and...
Yeah, I don't know whether she was shocked or what, really.
Did you look at the books before you bought it?
No.
So really you bought blind?
Not quite, but yes, we didn't have full accounts.
What's your business like at the moment?
Our room bookings now are half what they were 6 months ago.
So your occupancy, you would say, is about what?
Well, at the moment it's about 17%.
Who runs the staff?
Jacqueline is the PR person. She's everybody's friend. But I have a rather different view. I'm quite distant from the staff, and I prefer it to be that way. So if staff offer to make me a cup of tea, I always refuse it. It's my policy. I mean, I would readily admit that I'm not a terribly affable. I'm not one of these guys who's terribly, hail fellow well met.
Which is a bit of a drawback for a hotel owner.
It is a drawback. Yes, it absolutely is. Yes, I mean, I tend to be more of a backroom boy than a sort of, an affable guy in the front.
So you're the front of house,
Yes.
are you?
To get a better understanding of the Rose and Crown's problems, Alex will stay the night.
Okay, and here's your room.
Thank you very much.
Here we are. This is one of our heritage rooms. It's got a bit of beaming and some exposed brickwork, and we thought you might like this room.
Thank you very much, Jonathan.
Okay.
I'll see you later.
Very good.
Thanks.
Okay.
Bye. Well, I quite like this room. I like the exposed brickwork. All in all, this is an inoffensive room. It's perfectly serviceable.
At £50 a night, Alex's room has met expectations. Time to explore the other 29 bedrooms.
Well, this isn't too bad. I can't quite understand why their occupancy is so low. Carpet's coming up a bit. Rather an odd place to put a mirror, but nothing that would make you just despair at having to stay here. So now that I've looked around the rooms, there doesn't seem anything too dreadful about them. Could obviously do with some money being spent on them, but I have a terrible feeling that that's not the real problem here. I think the worst is yet to come.
And worse is to come, as Alex enters the nightmare at the Rose and Crown.
This is a bit overwhelming. Another room with just more crap in it. Oh no. Is there nothing I can help you with?
No, it's okay. We'll just...
Fine. Really feels like a failing hotel.
The Rose and Crown is a 30-bedroom hotel at the heart of the Fenland town of Wisbech. Former antiques dealer Jonathan Davies bought the business 4 years ago with partner Jacqueline Newt.
Hello.
I wanted to do something different. I was getting stale.
I was quite happy to, do the change as well, really, So, but it was Jonathan's decision ultimately.
The Rose and Crown has lost its bloom, and without help, the couple's brief tenure will soon be over.
I've put a lot of effort into it, put a lot of money into it. There's sort of status in it as well. You have to succeed. It's a bit of a male thing as well. You must succeed. So, I'm desperate to succeed.
Jonathan and Jackie have called in expert hotelier Alex Polizzi. Alex doesn't blame the bedrooms for the Rose and Crown's weedy 17% occupancy rate.
I was woken up this morning by the gentle chink of scaffolding poles. There's a local market in the square. Door outside my room banged quite a lot. Can't say I had an amazing night's sleep. Bloody door.
The hotel inspector's investigation can start early. First, a grand tour with Jonathan of the not-so-grand car park.
Who's all these rather older, dusty cars over there?
Oh, well, a couple of those are mine, I must confess.
Are they?
But,
and is that yours too?
Yes, that's the one we're taking bits off.
And over here, what's all this?
The kitchen equipment here is some kitchen equipment that we want to put in. The ploughs, I want to put one of those on the front wall, sort of Fenland ploughs. Agriculture was very important in this area. You have to buy these things when you see them. These ploughs are very rare now.
I know, but
and the kitchen equipment needs to go.
Jonathan, if I was a guest and I came here and I saw this, it isn't a particularly appealing or safe-looking place to park my car.
It's not a good start. Alex looks for Jackie, holed up in the office.
May I?
A ground floor room just off the front reception area.
This is a bit overwhelming. when I don't know quite what to say.
It's rather a mess, isn't it?
About this room. It is a complete mess, and I don't have any idea how you managed to function, how you managed to run a hotel from this as its nerve centre. The thing is, you know, a hotel
should be ordered.
It should be ordered.
Yes. Life is very chaotic, as you obviously appreciate, you know, when you've got a hotel. And obviously I'm trying to run the home as well.
It's almost impossible to see what's important and what's not important.
Yeah.
I don't know one small hotel that would survive in this kind of environment.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just not the way that you need to do things to go on. Yeah. Tell me, how do you feel about this business after 4 years?
I quite like the hotel business, and I would like to see, you know, it work. I don't feel at the moment that we're in control of the business.
It's becoming clear to Alex that the mountain of mess in the office is symptomatic of the problems facing the hotel. By cutting this front-of-house area off from the public, there's no chance of catching passing trade and money. Alex has an idea for a new office space in the hotel basement, but there's a lot of work to do.
Oh my goodness. This is Jonathan's glory hole. This would be a perfect office space.
That's what I think.
You know, it would give the hotel back that room.
Yes.
It would force you to go through some of that paperwork. Yes. I think Jonathan needs some tram lines to run in.
Yes.
Because, you know, he's doing this, that and the other, and I don't think he's doing anything very effectively. No. Collecting is distracting him from his real task of making the hotel function properly.
I think so too.
Oh dear, it's going to take a while to sort out all this though.
In need of a calming cup of tea, Alex heads to the first floor dining room.
Oh, I can't say this is a very well put together room. Stacked up banqueting chairs, the bits and bobs, the ephemera that's everywhere, and actually the general levels of hygiene. It's dirty mirror, filthy carpet. When's the last time this place was hoovered, for goodness sake? I've pretty much never sat in a more depressing breakfast room. I mean, the proportions of this room are lovely, and it could be great. It really feels like a failing hotel.
The hotel inspector continues her investigation. Next to the breakfast room on the first floor, there's the grandly named Mitre Room, an ideal space for private or corporate functions.
This is another beautiful room that has been completely inappropriately claimed by the chaos. This room is useless to anybody how it is at the moment. Imagine if by some miracle someone came looking for a private dinner. What would he show them? This room, looking like this? You'd run a mile. It makes me feel so immensely angry. You know, it's like someone's attic. I had to get out just to clear my head of this kind of fetid air in there. It feels like rigor mortis has already set in, and I'm not entirely sure if we can reanimate the corpse.
In search of Jonathan, Alex discovers her worst fears have come true.
Hi, Jonathan. You've got a function in here.
Sorry?
You've got a function in here.
Yeah, I've got a meeting.
All right.
I was told about 20 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago.
So where are you going to put everything?
This lot. I'm going next door.
So is it unusual that something like this is dumped on, you know, that you're surprised like this?
Yeah, well, it's not, no.
Tell me, because, you know, I can't believe that this room is like it was and that you're going to have to somehow turn it around for a function.
Yeah, I should have been told. I was reminded last night, actually, but...
Seems slightly chaotic. Well, look, I don't want to... I mean, you've got enough to do, so okay. I'll see you in a minute.
Very good, very good.
Is there nothing I can help you with?
No, it's okay. We'll just quickly move this.
Okay, fine.
Joe can give me a quick hand.
Everywhere you look, there's crap.
Jonathan's collections are infiltrating every nook, cranny and corridor.
Ivy.
There are other rooms hijacked by Jonathan. This time, they are bedrooms.
know.
The final room on her tour of terror is stuck away at the back of the hotel. A hall perfect for large functions.
Another room with just more crap in it. It's quite astonishing. This is new in my experience. It really is, because he's got the bare bones of a lovely building. Look at this mess. It's just awful. What the fuck has this got to do with the price of fish? The more I see, the more disgusted I am, the more angry I'm getting with him. What gives him the right to think that he is in any way a hotelier? Owning a hotel doesn't make you a hotelier. Honestly, I'm shocked. And I'm furious with him. I feel like taking him by the lapels and just shaking him. I really do.
It's time for Alex to confront the Rose and Crown's owners.
Over the last 2 days, I've gone through periods of feeling such rage with you. Because I think, how can you be so arrogant and so conceited as to think you can just walk in and start running a hotel? From a basis of no knowledge. Every single public area is in a state of disrepair that I find shocking. And that you are completely blind to, clearly.
No, I wouldn't agree with that. No, I don't think that's terribly fair.
I'm amazed at how you're in denial about how this looks to someone else. Everywhere I look, every corner I turn, every set of doors I open, there's a mess somewhere.
Well, one man's meat is another man's poison, but...
I can't bear it. Honestly, it makes me feel ill. It looks uncared for. The downstairs room, which is just gorgeous. It is such a mess in there that you have to keep the curtains closed. I mean, the breakfast room. When's the last time that was hoovered? I mean, it just looks a shambles. It isn't attractive, it isn't appealing. It certainly isn't a heritage.
It's just somewhere to have breakfast.
I know, Jonathan, but then you could say that what's a hotel but somewhere to lay your head. Now, if you want to stay in this business, you need to pick up your game considerably. And I'd like to hear from you whether you think you can do it.
Well, you're really suggesting that we get away from the homely bed and breakfast sort of image maybe, and we head towards the clean-cut professional hotel.
It's not homely to have crap in the corners everywhere, darling. It's just not. It's nothing to do with it being homely. It's completely inappropriate in a hotel. You need to create order where there is chaos. And that is something that is obviously not your forte. Now, what do you think, Jackie? There's no, I see you nodding, but I'd like to hear what you think.
I mean, I think what you say is very true. The basics have been, deserted. I mean, I think it is a bit higgledy-piggledy.
I think, basically, we've got a very short space of time to effect change here. And either you embrace it wholeheartedly, or you drag your feet. And if you drag your feet, I'm going to have a problem going through with this, because there's so much to tackle that I really need to know that we are all pulling in the same direction. If you sort out an office, then we've got an option of a space that we can try and use. The back areas have to be cleared out so that I feel like you've made a commitment to this as a hotel. And unless I see that you've made a huge effort before I come back, I promise you I will just turn around and walk away, because this is not a change that can be affected by one person. This has to be affected by you. It's your hotel. Do you understand? You've got a month. Okay?
Okay. I prefer people who are blunt, to be honest. Yes, I am a hoarder. I do like my antiques, and it makes me feel at home. But streamlining is probably quite a good idea. So we'll have to see how we do with it. But, I was definitely put on the naughty stool, the ladies against me. But and that often happens, so I'm quite used to that, I think.
The hotel inspector is looking more for a radical clear-out than a streamline. The office, with its prime location on the street side of the hotel, needs to become a room for customers. If the Rose and Crown felt more welcoming, it would be more likely to pull in overnight guests. The bedrooms would get more use and the business could finally blossom. Jonathan and Jackie have a month to get their hotel in order, or the hotel inspector will walk. It's 1 week later, as Alex's ultimatum sunk in.
Jonathan agrees in principle, I think, to what Alex wants, but it's just him finding the time to do it, because he's always got other things to do, and the other things he always thinks are more important.
We get two.
Despite Jonathan's different priorities, Jackie is determined for the Rose and Crown to succeed. She drafts in her 31-year-old nephew, Dan.
I've had a good go today in the car park. I've got rid of some old benches, filled up a whole skip of rubbish. I think I can actually make a difference here.
The next blot on the hotel's landscape is the office, submerged under a sea of junk.
I'm gradually clearing bits out, but not so that you'd notice too much. Don't walk on my computer.
With Jonathan nowhere to be seen, Dan lends a hand.
What about these shoes and socks and things?
Honestly, that might as well go, I think.
It's a fair bit to do, isn't there? Having her knowing what's important and me going, you know, is it really important? Let's just chuck it.
That bag can go.
Is this going?
Well, yes, it might as well, I think, because Jonathan won't actually even know it's here.
Oh, I haven't seen Jonathan very much. He's keeping a low profile at the moment.
I'm going to get murdered for touching this lot.
He's a difficult man to get on with, but that's just the way he is. Excellent, it's good. We're actually getting through it a bit, aren't we?
Yeah.
But is it enough to stop the hotel inspector from kissing goodbye to the Rose and Crown?
Someone's made an effort, but that effort hasn't gone far enough. Is Jonathan wholeheartedly signed up to this project?
He never wholeheartedly signs up to anything.
It really does need to be all hands to the plough. You're polishing a turd, Jonathan.
The Rose and Crown in Wisbeach, Cambridgeshire, dates back to the 15th century, but it's wilting. Owned by self-confessed hoarder Jonathan Davies and partner Jacqueline Newt, the hotel is in serious need of miracle grow.
Things aren't too good, to be honest. Yeah, there we are.
With growing losses, Jonathan and Jackie have turned to expert hotelier Alex Polizzi for help.
The more I see, the more disgusted I am, the more angry I'm getting with him. Everywhere I look, every corner I turn, there's a mess somewhere.
Alex gave the couple an ultimatum: prune the clutter from the Rose and Crown or face losing the hotel inspector.
Unless things really change by the time I come back, I'm just going to turn around and walk away, because the Rose and Crown will just be beyond redemption.
One month on, she's back.
It's obvious Jonathan and Jackie have made some effort. There were all the trestle tables there, which have disappeared. There are visible trees in front of that wall, for which I'm grateful. He still hasn't tackled all that kitchen equipment that Jonathan claims he's going to put in the kitchen, but it is looking tidier, remarkably tidier, actually.
Next, the hotel's frontage.
Well, someone's made an effort to put the window boxes back up and put these here. At least it's brighter, it looks much more welcoming and cheery. But, you know, these windows are still filthy. Ugh, and there's still all these nasty posters up. Someone's made an effort, but that effort hasn't gone far enough.
With no sign of Jonathan or Jackie, Alex greets head receptionist Jane to find out what's really been going on.
Hi, Jane.
Hello, how are you?
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
How's everything been going?
Much better. Much better, I think it is anyway.
Is Jonathan wholeheartedly signed up to this project?
He never wholeheartedly signs up to anything, but I'm sure deep down, yes.
I noticed that there's lots of improvements out the front. The hanging baskets are out.
That is down to Dan. who is Jackie's nephew, who has come and put a bit of zoom into the place.
Yeah.
So, yeah, tidying up, getting rid of the clutter.
Good, I'm so pleased.
Yeah.
I better go and find Jackie.
Yes.
Alex heads to the office that she'd wanted cleared so it could be opened up as a public space.
Good morning, Jacqueline.
Hello.
How are you?
Right, how are you?
How's everything going?
Not too bad.
Well, I can see a carpet. There's actually tabled space. I can't believe it. So what's going to happen to all the rest of it, though?
Well, I'm trying to find places for the things that I don't need, and the rest of it, when we move to the other office, most of it can go down there.
Is that actually going to happen, do you think?
Hopefully.
Has he even started?
No. But he is definitely wanting that to happen.
Well, you know, I'm quite encouraged. I mean, there's a way to go yet.
That's right.
But, you know, small steps, but steps nonetheless.
With Jonathan absent, Alex helps Jackie's nephew Dan out front.
Dan, what have you tackled so far?
I started by trying to clear up the car park. Now I'm quite handy around the place.
Things like this are actually what's going to make a difference to their business. I'm trying to encourage Jonathan to start thinking about this, less as his personal space and more as a hotel.
I think Jonathan wants to be part of everything in the hotel, but he can't be. And he doesn't believe that there's anybody else in the hotel who can do the job
anything.
as well as he can.
I feel a lot more positive knowing you're here. I need a bucket of clean water.
Alex and Dan don't stop with the exterior.
I just think that this is their frontage on the street. You don't need it all
It's a cluttered
here.
window, isn't it? You want to see people in here sitting down, having a cup of coffee and milling around.
Free of the grime and tatty posters, the hotel is now more inviting. Buoyed by her progress, the hotel inspector finds Jonathan upstairs in the conference room. And the former antiques dealer has some important questions.
Hello.
Hello.
Do come and sit down. Sit here.
How are you?
All right, thank you very much.
How's everything been going?
Would like to have had your advice about a few things.
Yeah.
You know, the character of the hotel. Now, this room is quite a good example because it's clean,
Yeah.
but it has a period feel. This was built in the Georgian period, and we have wondered about putting a lot of pictures over the walls. You know,
Yeah.
but the problem then is that one might clutter the place.
I'm concerned that you seem to be more interested in style over substance. Now, I understand that your interest is in objects and in the things, but, you know, for an antique dealer, how can you have so little sensitivity to how a room feels to a guest? Honestly, I challenge you to make sure that every area in this hotel is fit for purpose. And then whatever you do will actually put a gloss on it. But otherwise, you are polishing a turd, Jonathan.
Thank you.
You know, you could have a nice product, but you have to get the basics right before you do anything else. What else would you like to ask me?
Should I dye my hair? I'm going to anyway.
Good for you.
Jonathan is more concerned with putting up paintings than with the bigger picture. It's decision time for Alex.
Well, last time I was here, I did say, and I meant it, that unless things had moved on quite significantly, I was just going to turn around and walk away. But I have to say I was quite impressed when I came today. And although we've still got some way to go, it's definitely going in the right direction. Now, the office is absolutely key. If you can get it cleared for me, and if we can get the office moved, I would like to help you work on this ground floor by making an area where people can sit and have coffee.
Right. Yep.
That's a nice idea.
But Jonathan, darling, it really does need to be all hands to the plough. It will be very disappointing if I get it all ready to roll out and I don't have the space to use. Okay?
Okay.
You feeling positive?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Currently, the Rose and Crown's lobby and first impression is the gloomy reception and this rather sad corner. Alex's master plan is to bring the hotel's focus back to its guests. She wants to double the public areas by overhauling the office next to reception. Once finished, the Rose and Crown's ground floor can entice customers back and boost the use of the hotel's bedrooms and function rooms.
Well, Alex came out with some quite interesting ideas. You know, she's looking at things differently, which is what I'd hoped she'd do. She's looking at things as an outsider and a professional. And yes, I'm quite pleased with some of the ideas she came out with. Certainly things that we hadn't thought about.
We're slowly moving forward, and hopefully we can keep that going, and we'll be getting more people in the door.
The flourishing new downstairs will coincide with the relaunch to show the local community that the Rose and Crown has turned over a new leaf. Major change in the hotel will need a change in its owners' attitudes. 3 weeks later, Alex takes the couple to a hotel that is getting it right. The George Hotel in Stamford has very high standards.
So, this is the coffee room, and it has been busy since 9 o'clock this morning. And I think what's very important is it's not just busy with people who are staying here. You kind of feel like if 12 people turned up and said, we haven't booked, but can we have tea, that wouldn't take much to find them in a corner.
No, exactly, yeah, that is a problem with us.
The George has its own dedicated business centre. And unlike the Rose and Crown's mitre room, it's always ready for business.
Now, the way that you use your mitre room makes it virtually impossible for anyone to see past your mess. If someone turns up and says they want to have a small conference or they want a board meeting, you give them no idea how nice that room could be.
Yeah.
Show them a nice blank space that they can imagine somehow being used for their purpose. Yeah?
Yes, indeed.
You see the points that I'm trying to make?
Yes, I see the point.
I don't think I need to underline it anymore, do I?
No.
No, good.
No.
Fine.
Yes, it's been a useful exercise today. I think we've learnt quite a lot. We've seen how the George runs, and there's a lot of things we can take back and put into practice, I think.
Yes, we knew the George anyway, but seeing behind the scenes has been most useful, really useful indeed, yeah.
A week later, and work begins on Alex's design to open up the ground floor to the public.
Well, we've cleared out the office as far as we can.
Yeah, we want to use the opportunity to try and move things in a rather rational fashion, hopefully a rational fashion anyway.
It was cleared, eventually.
Team effort, I say me and Jackie did it. Jonathan didn't help us, because he never does.
Alex's colour scheme has caused controversy.
I quite like it. I think the colour's quite nice, so I'm not sure that Jonathan's...
And I don't. I think it's a definite risk with grey. I think it looks rather cold, but there we are.
I don't think he's happy at all, and because I don't think he ever likes being told what to do, basically. And so that's the crux of it.
But the refurbishment has got Jonathan going, and he has an idea of his own.
We are considering some quite large changes to the car park, actually. Maybe with some sort of feature in the centre, a sort of cast iron Victorian fountain, sort of, you know, one of these 8-foot high jobs would be rather nice. And perhaps cars could go around that. It might make people park a little more carefully. But anyway, it's an idea, I don't know.
2 weeks later, in spite of Jonathan's reservations, the new-look ground floor is complete. 6 months ago, the reception area was a dreary mishmash of tired, unattractive furniture. But now it feels bright, elegant and enticing. The office was a chaotic jumble of junk. In its place, there's now an attractive room to draw passing trade, improve the hotel's reputation, and help tackle the low occupancy rate. But it's not all positive. Down in the depths of the hotel, the junk room Alex wanted Jonathan to clear so the office could move hasn't been touched. And the mitre room has gone from a well-proportioned space for business meetings to a cacophony of clutter. The chaos from downstairs has just been moved upstairs. It's Jonathan's party, and it seems he can be shy if he wants to.
Oh, where is this stupid man? Oh my God! It's everywhere.
For the past 4 months, Hotel Inspector Alex Polizzi has been trying to help Jonathan Davies and partner Jacqueline Newt deadhead the chaos cluttering the Rose and Crown.
That bag can go. I'm going to get murdered for touching this lot, touching his precious radio.
Despite Jonathan's resistance to change, today they're hosting an open lunch for local businesses to promote Alex's renaissance for the hotel. And Alex is hoping the changes she's made will encourage some new growth. With the launch due to start in a few hours, Alex is back.
This looks much better. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Okay, fine. What do you think?
Lovely, isn't it?
It's a unified whole. There's not lots of bits and
No,
different
that's right.
colours and styles, and
It's all the same.
It was completely wasted as your office.
Completely, yeah, I agree.
Those heavy drapes that you had to have across it to hide the mess. Presumably, Jonathan will show his face at some point.
He's trying to do the coffee machine at the moment, so I think I'll put his suit on and come down. So
Okay.
Alex tweaks the new rooms. A rumour she's looking for pictures has pricked Jonathan's interest and forced him out of hiding.
What dost thou have for me?
The classical print.
Well, let's try it up, darling. That looks nice. But that's lovely, that.
That's fine. Yeah, I've got a few more of these somewhere. I'm not quite sure what they are.
Good. Shall I come with you, Jonathan, and have a look? Can I come with you?
Yeah, you can come on.
The hotel inspector and Jonathan are heading to the mitre room to hunt for more pictures.
Oh my God! Oh my God, okay. God, did all this come out of the office?
Yeah.
I honestly and truly cannot believe the state of that room. I mean, what's the point of me having cleared out one room if now the bigger one is all full of stuff? I mean, it's everywhere.
will you just go and change, please, because it's 22.
Okay.
Thanks.
Dusters.
Go and get your suit on.
I'll go and get a couple of dusters and a cloth.
Jonathan disappears upstairs to change, and the guests arrive.
Hello, would you like a coffee?
Yes, please, if I
What do you think of our new room?
I like it, yeah, it's very nice.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Good. That's the right answer.
Really something to see now.
With no host, Alex steps up to the teacup.
It's what the marketplace needs.
Oh, sir, say that more. Did you hear that, Jacqueline? It's going to be a great success. It's just what the market needs.
As I live locally and I've never really been in here before because not been encouraged to come in, but I certainly will now.
It looks fresh now. It looks loved. It looks inviting.
45 minutes into the lunch, and Jonathan is still not there.
I've poured about 25 coffees. Jackie's in there doing her bit, but Jonathan's nowhere to be seen. So I need to winkle him out of whatever hole he's scurried into. Thrust him into the fray, I think.
Hello, are you coming down? Because people would like to speak to you. Okay, so 2 minutes. He's just finding some cufflinks and he'll be down.
Oh, he doesn't need to look for cufflinks as he is.
I know, I agree.
He'd be better than he was before.
People are leaving and Jonathan hasn't even said hello to them yet. Pretty typical, isn't it? Oh, where is this stupid man?
Okay. Finally, Jonathan arrives.
But you should be talking to a few people to find out what they think of this room.
Oh, I've no doubt I'll get comments later.
I want you to get comments now.
Oh, comments now.
Go and talk to
Okay,
them.
right, all right.
Hi.
Hello there.
Very nice.
I tried to hide, but they wouldn't let me.
You should be very pleased with it. It looks really good.
Yes, maybe.
I'll entertain clients here. The very man. Jonathan.
Come on.
Jonathan, have
Yes,
you talked to anybody?
I have done just about, yes, just for a moment.
What did they say to you?
Well, they thought it was different, yes.
Well, they didn't say nicer, less cluttered, what an advantage it is, how nice it was to have another room to sit in. All the things they said to me. No, they didn't say any of that to you.
I haven't heard those. No.
But you don't like listening to people, darling, do you?
Well, I get nagged by so many women.
Well,
so.
occasionally you should do some of the suggestions that they suggest, and then you'd be nagged less.
Oh, maybe, yes.
The launch has been a success, but despite the good reviews, Alex suspects her efforts have ultimately been in vain.
So why don't we start with the easy bit? What ultimately do you think of this room? Do you think it was a good idea?
Well, yes, it's a good idea to get more use out of it, and as a boardroom, it wasn't being used more than half a dozen times a year.
Well, it wasn't even being used that.
No, in the end,
crap all over it, darling.
No. As an office, we'll be using it every day.
You know, I think it was very interesting talking to people again and again today. They were so positive, and so many people asked me how I found it working with you. Yes, Jonathan. They were dying to hear how impossible you'd been, longing to hear it. And I must say, I do think you're quite long-suffering, Jackie. This hostelry should be titled Only Come Here If You're an Ornery Bad-Tempered Git. Jonathan's natural stablemates, please come and bed down here. I mean, honestly.
Well, at least I'm a survivor.
I think, actually, on getting to know you, you're a nice person. But that is certainly not the impression that you give. And I can imagine you've got up lots of people's noses quite hard and far. I just think that you have to understand that expansiveness, that inclusiveness is something that is absolutely key to you making a success of this.
Well, we'll see.
Are you going to make a success of this hotel?
I think we will, yes.
How long are you going to give it?
Give what, this? The hotel?
Yes.
Well, I'm here for the duration. I can't do anything else. I'm far too old, so I should be here in 10, 12, 15, 20 years' time, you know.
I shall say farewell and good luck, Jackie.
Thank you. You're about to say she needs it, aren't you?
Well, I'm glad you've got such a good sense of humour about yourself. That's something that I do admire. Thank you very much, and thanks for having had me here.
Thank you for coming.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
The hotel inspector leaves with mixed feelings. While the Rose and Crown's prospects seem to have improved, there may still be an obstacle to this hotel's success. Next time, the hotel inspector ruffles a few feathers.
Oh, man we mark. Here there is only chaos. It seems to me you're not very interested in the accommodation side.
It doesn't bite yet.
It's been agony.
I needed somebody like Alex to come in here and kick ass.
There's only one show on TV that can fix your need for speed as The Gadget Show tries to create the world's most brilliant remote-controlled car in the new series next Monday at 8 here on 5.